The most dramatic episode of the Gilded Age's third season just wrapped up on HBO. And wow, what a finale! We finally got answers to all the burning questions. Did Larry Russell and Marian Brooke find their way back to each other? Would George Russell survive that shocking shooting from last week? And how would Dr. William Kirkland react to learning about Peggy Scott's tragic and scandalous past? This finale had everything: heartbreaking separations, spectacular balls, and yes, even a pregnancy announcement. So let's dive into what happened and what it all means for our favorite characters. Just a heads up, major spoilers ahead for My Mind Is Made Up, the 8th and final episode of the Gilded Age Season 3, which you can watch right now on HBO Max. From emergency surgery performed on a dining room table to those absolutely stunning period costumes, plus the return of Mrs. Winterton and society finally accepting divorcees, this finale truly delivered on every front. The episode opens with pure drama as a carriage races through the streets, rushing the wounded George Russell back home. But here's where luck kicks in. Bannister, the butler who works for Aunt Agnes and Aunt Ada, just happened to be outside having a smoke when they arrived. Talk about perfect timing. He tells Bertha that there's actually a doctor right across the street, so George won't have to wait hours for medical help. While George does survive, the same might not be true for his marriage to Bertha. These two had some seriously harsh words by the end of Season 3, and it could spell the end of their once powerful partnership. But don't worry, not everything in this finale was doom and gloom. Several other couples found love or made plans to conquer New York society together. Does George Russell die in the Gilded Age Season 3 finale? No, George doesn't die. Dr. William Kirkland swoops in to save the day. Now, if you've been following along, you'll remember that Dr. Kirkland had rushed over to the Van Ryan house in the previous episode when his mother exposed Peggy's hidden past. He wanted to hear the truth straight from Peggy herself. So when George needed emergency medical attention, this skilled doctor was conveniently right there across the street. George gets the help he needs just in time, avoiding what could have been a fatal delay. Are George and Bertha Russell getting a divorce? Here's where things get really intense. At the very end of Season 3, George drops a bombshell on Bertha. He tells her he only came to her Newport ball to save his business, and he won't be returning to their home on 61st Street with her. He's still furious about her role in arranging Gladys's marriage to the Duke. George admits he's not sure what he wants anymore, though Bertha clearly wants to keep their marriage intact. He says that coming so close to death made him take a hard look at his life, and frankly, he doesn't like what he sees. So are we witnessing the end of the Russell power couple? Will Bertha follow in the footsteps of her real-life inspiration, Alva Vanderbilt, and get divorced? The showrunners, Julian Fellowes and Sonia Warfield, aren't giving us any easy answers just yet. Sonia Warfield explained that marriages evolve and everything changes, so the Russells could be going through a really challenging period in their relationship. They might reconcile, or they might not. She emphasized that the characters are real, flawed, complex people. Julian Fellowes also pointed out something interesting about that time period. When couples weren't happy anymore, assuming they had been content initially, they had other options besides divorce. Married couples could live separately quite comfortably, and discreetly divorce was actually the most extreme choice available. As Fellowes put it, generally speaking, society wouldn't make a fuss as long as you kept things quiet. So George and Bertha are in a situation where they need to figure out what they really want, and hopefully they'll work it out. But the showrunners don't think we're looking at anything too earth-shattering. Who got engaged in the Gilded Age Season 3 finale? While George and Bertha's marriage troubles might have you worried, there's plenty of romantic joy to celebrate with the other couples. The most heartwarming moment has to be Dr. William Kirkland gallantly defying his racist and classist mother to propose to Peggy Scott. He does it with his father's blessing and, more importantly, Peggy's yes. It's a swoon-inducing, super romantic sequence that gives Peggy the happy ending as she so richly deserves. Absolutely beautiful to watch. Then we have Larry and Marian, who finally have an honest conversation about how their engagement got so tangled. At another Newport ball, Marian admits to panicking and assuming the worst about Larry's behavior at the Haymarket, while he asks if she'll walk out on him again when he inevitably does something wrong. Even though they both agree they can't solve all their problems in one night, they wind up reunited and happily dancing together. And here's a fascinating twist: Oscar Van Ryan pitches Mrs. Winterton on what's essentially a lavender marriage. You know, the opera diva who used to be known as Bertha's maid, Turner. While it's not an official engagement, Oscar suggests they could become a power couple in New York City, using her wealth and his connections to their advantage. They'd keep separate households outside the city, but present a united front in society. Honestly, I'm really intrigued to see how this plays out. Is Gladys pregnant with the Duke's baby? Absolutely yes. In the season 3 finale, Gladys shares the exciting news with her mother. She and Hector are expecting their first child, and she seems genuinely thrilled about it too. It turns out Bertha was right when she said Gladys would make a good Duchess of Buckingham. These two have really grown to care for each other and have been getting closer throughout the season. Will there be a season 4 of The Gilded Age? Great news, everyone! HBO officially announced on July 28th that The Gilded Age will return for a 4th season. Now, don't get too excited about timing. Season 4 probably won't hit our screens until late 2026 or early 2027. But hey, at least we know our favorite character stories will continue. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown of The Gilded Age Season 3 finale, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more TV analysis and updates.